Tonight on the Y News, the number of Wuhan coronavirus cases has overtaken the 2003 severe acute respiratory syndrome or SARS outbreak inside of mainland China as the death toll rises to 132. Department of Foreign Affairs begins repatriation of Filipinos in Wuhan City, Hubei province. Cruise ship carrying Chinese tourists cancels port call at Subic Bay port. Australia scientists claim first recreation of Wuhan coronavirus outside China. And the bodies of former NBA basketball player Kobe Bryant and 3 other people killed in a helicopter crash have been identified by medical examiners. Good evening. The death toll in China due to the coronavirus rises and the official numbers of infections have even topped those from SARS. Governments around the globe are weighing what to do further with countries evacuating their citizens from the city at the heart of the outbreak. Mirasol Abogodil details why.
Confirmed cases of Novell Coronavirus or 2019 nCoV in China has already surpassed the record of severe acute respiratory syndrome or SARS that shook the Asian country in 2003. According to reports from China's National Health Commission or NHC, the virus has so far infected a total of 5,997 on Wednesday, a difference of 670 cases from 5,327 persons infected by SARS. From the said number, 8 cases were reported in Hong Kong, 7 in Macau, and 8 in Taiwan. An additional 26 people died of the virus overnight, pushing up the total number of deaths to 132, about 50% behind SARS' record of deaths at 349. Suspected cases also skyrocketed from 6,973 on Tuesday to 9,239 on Wednesday, an increase of 2,356 individuals under observation for showing symptoms of nCoV. Health authorities confirmed human-to-human transmission of the virus, and its transmission ability is getting stronger, according to China's Health Minister Ma Xiaowei. Although the World Health Organization belied Ma's statement that the virus can be infectious even before people exhibit symptoms, World Health experts confirmed that the virus has the potential to mutate. Thus, WHO representatives and health experts from different countries are readying to depart for China after President Xi Jinping agreed on a collaborative effort in handling novel coronavirus as the number of cases continues to increase. So far, 30 cities and provinces remain on lockdown and have launched Level 1 emergency response, while Hong Kong declared its highest emergency response amid nCoV outbreak. Meanwhile, hundreds of foreign nationals are being evacuated from Wuhan, the center of China's coronavirus outbreak, as more deaths and cases were confirmed. Australia will help some citizens leave Hubei province in China, the epicenter of the coronavirus outbreak, and quarantine them on Christmas Island. Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison did not say how many of the 600 Australians registered in the Hubei region the government would be able to help, adding Australia would also be working to help New Zealand and Pacific Island citizens in Hubei. The evacuations will be done on a last-in, first-out basis.
They will be transported to Christmas Island, where we will also be putting in place the AUSMAT team, which will be travelling there to provide the medical support, and that will be supplemented as is necessary by other defence support which can assist, and other support that is provided through the medical system to ensure proper treatment facilities are there.
Japan, the US, and the EU are also repatriating their citizens. British Airways has suspended all flights to and from mainland China as the UK's Foreign Office warned against all but essential travel there. Several other airlines have taken similar measures, including America's United, which restricted flights, citing a fall in demand. Mirasol Abogadil, UNTV, News and Rescue.
A chartered plane carrying 206 Japanese nationals evacuated from Wuhan, the epicenter of China's coronavirus outbreak, arrived at Tokyo's Haneda Airport today. 4 of the 206 people aboard the flight have claimed to feel ill since returning to Japan, Chief Cabinet Secretary Yoshihide Suga said, and they will undergo a medical examination. Japanese Foreign Minister Toshimitsu Motegi said on Tuesday that 650 Japanese citizens were hoping to come home, and the government was making arrangements for additional flights. Chartered flights are on standby to evacuate Filipinos from Hubei province who wish to return home amid the 2019 Novell Coronavirus scare. But the repatriated OFWs will be subjected to a mandatory quarantine upon arrival in the country. Victor Cosare details why.
The Department of Foreign Affairs, or DFA, is readying the repatriation of Filipinos in Wuhan City, the epicenter of the Novell Coronavirus or 2019 nCoV, and those in other cities in Hubei province affected by the outbreak in China. The agency is making available special flights from Hubei province to the Philippines for Filipinos who wish to come home, subject to China's rules on disease containment, including immigration clearance and quarantine process, among others. As discussed in the meeting with health experts and other concerned government officials, the DFA reiterates that Filipino repatriates will undergo 14 days of mandatory quarantine upon arrival as required by the Department of Health. Those who wish to stay in China are likewise advised to heed advisories from local health authorities and cooperate with efforts to quell the further spread of the virus. Likewise, Foreign Affairs Under Secretary Ernesto Abella stressed the call of the Chinese government that Filipinos in the affected areas needing medical assistance and treatment should go to the nearest medical facility and seek proper medical care, including treatment and quarantine. Filipinos who wish to avail of the repatriation are advised to contact the Philippine Consulate General in Shanghai in the following numbers. Those who wish to remain in Hubei, apart from the above-mentioned contact details, may likewise use any of the 24-hour hotlines established by the China Ministry of Foreign Affairs, or MFA. The said MFA hotlines can also be contacted should Filipinos need assistance, supplies, and other needs. Victor Cosare, UNTV News and Rescue.
A cruise ship has canceled its scheduled docking at the Subic Bay port. Instead, it sails back to China. Joanne Nano tells us why.
The Department of Health now on its list 27 patients under investigation, but 4 of them have already been discharged from the hospital and have tested negative for the 2019 nCoV. As of today, there are 16 pending screening results in the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine, or RITM.
Local officials and several residents in Olongapo City conducted a protest action against the docking of MV World Dream Cruise at the port of Subic. MV World Cruise, which came from Hong Kong, docked at the Manila port yesterday. It had more than 700 passengers on board, including several Chinese nationals. Another cargo vessel from Jiangsu, China, MV Ligulao, docked at South Harbor in Manila yesterday. According to the Philippine Coast Guard, they have allowed these vessels to dock at Pier 15 after being cleared from a mandatory inspection conducted by the Bureau of Quarantine. But because of the threat of the new coronavirus, residents in Olongapo City calls on the Subic Bay Metropolitan Authority to disallow the cruise ship from docking at the Subic Bay Freeport.
Napakadami itong mga Chinese na papasok. Tapos just one case na mag-positive. Ititrace na namin yung lahat ng mga nakausap niya, nakasalamuha, kasama sa bahay, kasama sa school. Pero maganda yung nababahala para if you worry, magagawin mo talaga even to the point na sabihin mong overkill. Pero that's the best thing.
Even the Department of Health Region 3 objects the docking of the sea vessels at the port of Subic.
Kailangan po sabihin ko, ayaw ng Olongapo, nalalabas muna yung mga bisita natin galing sa cruise ships habang nandito po yung threat po ng sakit na ito.
SBMA Administrator Wilma Aisma says that Genting Cruise Lines, the operator of World Dream cruise ship, has voluntarily cancelled its scheduled docking at the Subic port and decided to sail to Hong Kong. Aisma assures that safety protocols are set in place to ensure the safety of Subic Port and Airport from the threat of the 2019 nCoV. PCG Commander Armand Balilo has confirmed the cruise ship is scheduled to sail away tonight. The cargo vessel, on the other hand, just has to finish unloading its shipment before going back to China. Joan Nano, UNTV News and Rescue.
The industry of second-hand clothing has gained a huge following among Filipinos, but the Bureau of Customs is on high alert against used clothing and rags. Rosalie Cos explains why.
Republic Act 4653 prohibits the importation of second-hand clothes in the Philippines. The law, passed in 1966, aims to safeguard the health of the people. But as years pass by, the industry and sale of second-hand clothing, locally known as ukay-ukay when sold in stores, has been popular among many Filipinos. And now that there is a threat of spread of the deadly 2019 Novell Coronavirus or NCOV, the Bureau of Customs has intensified its measures to deter the smuggling of used clothing items.
Ito human transmitted to, so right now we're very high on alert, especially on used clothing.
Based on reports, there are confirmed cases of human-to-human transmission of the nCoV. According to the BOC, diseases can be transmitted through second-hand clothing.
That's one of the easiest way na pwede mo matransmit yung sakit na yan.
The BOC is coordinating with the Department of Health on other products or items coming from China that can transmit the deadly virus, including animal products.
There could be a slowdown in the imports coming from China because countries now like the US and the others are actually not just thinking of a flight ban or a ban of tourists coming in, but we don't know yet how this virus are being carried, and if they can be carried in items that are going to be imported, and very simple items, then I think i-priority namin is yung safety ng mga kababayan natin other than kung ano man yung makokolekta namin buwis.
Rosalie Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Malacanang.
Australian scientists have become the world's first outside of China to copy the coronavirus. The discovery will enable scientists to develop a test to identify people who might be infected even before they show any symptoms. Nina Bascon has this report.
In a major breakthrough in the global fight against coronavirus, scientists in Australia have developed a lab-grown version of the disease. Described as a game changer that will help scientists determine whether a future vaccine is effective, experts at Melbourne's Peter Doherty Institute for Infection and Immunity on Tuesday became the world's first scientific lab outside of China to copy the virus.
So you can see that the cells actually die in the progression of infection, and so that's how we know the virus is happening. And we've used the same test on that material that we use in patients to assess the level of virus so that we know that the burden of virus or the amount of virus present is going up, and so we can prove that the virus is growing.
The researchers said they would share the sample, which was grown from an infected patient, with the World Health Organization and laboratories around the world. The flu-like virus broke out in the central Chinese city of Wuhan at the end of last year and has killed 132 people and infected at least 6,000 people. It spreads in droplets from coughs and sneeze and has an incubation period of up to 14 days. The Australia-grown virus sample would be used to generate an antibody test, which would allow detection of the virus in patients who had not shown symptoms, as well as contributing to the creation of a vaccine.
So really an antibody test is the only way to answer some of those important epidemiological questions, which get you to questions of how many cases and how does the number of deaths relate to the number of cases that you're seeing on the ground. So
the virus was grown from a patient who had arrived at the institute on January 24. Nina Bascon, UNTV News and Rescue, Australia.
Meanwhile, medical examiners identified the body of NBA legend Kobe Bryant after recovering the remains of all 9 people who died in a helicopter crash near Los Angeles. Sonny Cos reports.
The bodies of Kobe Bryant and 3 other people killed when a helicopter crashed into a foggy Los Angeles hillside on Sunday have been identified, the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office said on Tuesday. Fingerprints were used to confirm the identity of Bryant, 41, along with John Antobelli, 56, Sarah Chester, 45, and the pilot 50-year-old Ares Obayan, the medical examiner coroner reported. The remaining 5, including Bryant's 13-year-old daughter Gianna, have not been officially identified. Meanwhile, federal investigators finished their inspection of the crash site, handing it over to local authorities.
So we have turned the site officially over to local authorities. We are done on the site.
Officials also used drones to replicate the helicopter's final fateful flight path. Homendy described the accident as a high-energy impact crash, having earlier labeled the crash scene as pretty devastating. She said the helicopter did not have a terrain awareness and warning system installed.
We know that the helicopter was at 2,300 feet when it lost communications with air traffic control. The descent rate for the helicopter was over 2,000 feet a minute. So we know that this was a high-energy impact crash.
Homendy told journalists that the probable cause for the accident may not be confirmed for 12 to 18 months when a final report will be issued. Meanwhile, an eyewitness believes he has captured the moment Kobe Bryant's helicopter was circling over Glendale, California, just 30 minutes before the deadly crash, as aviation experts question why the chopper was flying in the foggy weather in the first place. The user said he observed 1 or 2 circles before filming. Meanwhile, mourners and fans of former NBA superstar Kobe Bryant continued to arrive at the makeshift memorial outside the Staples Center, placing flowers and candles. A petition for the NBA logo to be redesigned with Bryant's likeness had reached 2 million signatures by Tuesday afternoon. Basketball superstar LeBron James said he was heartbroken and devastated over Bryant's death in an emotional Instagram post, while also vowing to continue his friend's championship legacy with the Lakers. Sunny Cos, UNTV News and Rescue, Los Angeles, USA.
Welcome back to Y News. We pick up to where Angelo Castro III left off. I am Alex Baltazar, and here are the headlines. Malacanang expresses serious concern over the rising number of suspected cases of Novell Coronavirus in the country. Filipino-Chinese school in Quezon City requires its teachers and students to wear face masks amid threats of a new strain of coronavirus. State seismologists warn that danger still lingers, although the Taal volcano's alert level has been lowered. Senators and government officials express varying opinions on bills seeking to create a Department of Disaster Management. And Manila Mayor Isko Moreno surprises longtime City Hall employee with a new house. Good evening. More than 20 persons are now considered as persons under investigation in the Philippines, but the health department maintains the country remains to have 0 case of the 2019 Novell Coronavirus. Aiko Miguel tells us why.
The Department of Health now on its list 27 patients under investigation, but 4 of them have already been discharged from the hospital and have tested negative for the 2019 nCoV. As of today, there are 16 pending screening results in the Research Institute for Tropical Medicine or RITM to determine whether they are positive or negative for coronavirus infection. The DOH is also waiting for the confirmatory test results from Australia on the samples taken from 6 individuals. There are other reported PUIs in Baguio City and some parts of Visayas region, but these have yet to be verified. Meanwhile, in San Lazaro Hospital Medical Center Chief Dr. Edmundo Lopez confirms that a PUI in the hospital expired this morning. However, the results of the lab test done of the 29-year-old male from Yunnan, China who died show that the cause of death is human immunodeficiency virus and not coronavirus.
This is a positive for the HIV/AIDS screening test done twice, no? Yung clinical manifestation lahat ng kulani sa buong katawan namamaga. Tapos ang dami-daming lesion ng tao sa mukha, sa ilong, sobrang dami. If only I could show you the picture, no? Payat na payat yung tao, pati puwet may wart. No, it's possible again na mukhang may sepsis. So it's I think more of an overwhelming opportunistic infection.
The Health Department Epidemiology Bureau clarifies the infectivity rate of 2019 nCoV is 3.8%. This is lower than the infectivity rate of measles. The DOH explains if an individual is infected with 2019 Novell Coronavirus and had direct contact with other persons who are not infected, there is probability that 2 to 4 individuals will be infected. The Epidemiology Bureau further says the mortality rate of 2019 nCoV is lower than that of SARS and MERS. The virus that causes measles or rubella is more infectious than the new strain of coronavirus, the DOH says.
The measles R0 is 18. The infectivity rate, 1 person is to 18 kakalat. So this is just to show you this is a much less.
World Health Organization country representative Dr. Rabindra Abiyasinghe clarifies that although 29 nCoV spread is rapid, especially in China, for now there is no concrete reason to declare global health emergency.
Our DG mentioned that he is prepared and willing to reconvene the committee at very short notice. We have also shared with you that all the information that is now coming out, we are sharing with the committee members. So we are not waiting to convene the committee. The committee members are having access to all the evidence that is emerging. So at very short notice, the committee can be reconvened if WHO decides and DG decides that that's necessary.
On a different note, samples taken from individuals who tested positive for coronavirus need not to be sent to the Victorian Infectious Diseases Reference Laboratory in Melbourne, Australia, according to the Health Department.
The reagents and the primers that were ordered by RIPN have arrived in the country, and they are now setting up the lab for this. Once the laboratory is set up, within 48 hours, they will be able to start running the tests for the 29 novel coronavirus here in the Philippines.
The DOH maintains the Philippines remains with 0 case of the 2019 nCoV. Aiko Miguel, UNTV News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Provincial Health Office of Aklan confirms there is no case of the new strain of coronavirus in the province as of today. This although some Chinese nationals are under observation by provincial health authorities. Joanna reports why.
Health authorities have been observing 11 Chinese nationals in a Aklan training center for 3 days. 4 of them had close contact with a person in Hong Kong confirmed to have tested positive for the 2019 new coronavirus. Dr. Cornelio Quachon Jr. of the Aklan Provincial Health Office explains that 5 Chinese nationals traveled to Hong Kong from Hubei province last January 21. While in Hong Kong, one of them showed symptoms of coronavirus infection, so the person was confined in a hospital there. The 4 others made their way to Boracay on January 22. The Hong Kong government found, based on examinations conducted, the Chinese national confined in a Hong Kong hospital tested positive for 2019 nCoV. After this, the Philippines Health Department immediately traced the 4 Chinese who traveled to Boracay. The DOH traced them on January 24. The Provincial Health Office says the 4 had been staying on Boracay Island for 3 days already. They were brought to the provincial hospital right away. On January 25, they were transferred to Aklan Training Center. Health authorities later on traced 7 other Chinese nationals who had close contact with the 4 travelers who came from Hong Kong. All 11 who are related to one another have not shown symptoms of coronavirus infection as of today. But to be sure, health authorities will complete the 14-day incubation period, which ends on February 3. According to the Aklan Provincial Health Office, there is no case of the new strain of coronavirus in the province. Joanna, UNTV News and Rescue.
Several days after the Department of Health said it is monitoring several suspected cases of the Novell Coronavirus in the country, Malacanang now expressed serious concern over the rising number of suspected cases of Novell Coronavirus in the country, with President Rodrigo Duterte ordering the DOH to study measures on how to contain the disease. Panelo, however, said there is no need to worry and instead advised the public to wear masks and wash their hands should going into crowds become unavoidable.
We're looking at it with serious concern. So the President has instructed the DOJ Secretary to study and evaluate what better procedures should be taken in order to contain, stop the coming in of this disease to this country.
A Chinese-Filipino school in Quezon City is requiring its students and teachers to wear a face mask for protection. This although there is no confirmed case of the nCoV in the Philippines to date. Joanano tells us why.
According to the management of Pace Academy, a Chinese-Filipino school in Quezon City, every one of its students is required to bring 2 to 3 face masks a day. Students must change their face mask every after 4 hours. Even the parents and the guardians who are fetched their kids from the school must also wear a face mask. Parents and school employees are also required to undergo body temperature check before being allowed to enter the school premises. According to Kay Tugade, a Pace Academy teacher, prevention is important in order to protect the health of their students. Around 600 Filipino-Chinese students are registered in Pace Academy.
Prevention is better than cure. Kaya we suspended classes yesterday in order for the students to prepare yung mga ni-require natin like face mask in order to prevent the spread of the virus just in case meron.
The school management is also requiring its employees and students who have recently traveled to China not to come to school. They are also told to submit a medical clearance that will certify they are not sick. Some parents with children attending classes in Pace Academy say they are in favor in the school's new policy.
Unlike sa adults, yung immune system nila mas low compared sa adults, kaya parang mas double protection naman sa kanila.
Based on the record of the Association of Filipino-Chinese Schools, there are more than 100 Filipino-Chinese schools operating in the Philippines. Joanano, UNTV News and Rescue, Caloocan City.
Employees of the Bureau of Immigration Head Office in Intramuros, Manila, begin to wear face masks while on duty. They say this is a proactive measure for self-protection. Dante Amendo tells us why.
Bureau of Immigration employees transact with hundreds, if not thousands, of foreign nationals every day. This makes them prone to threats of contracting diseases, such as those caused by viruses. This is why immigration workers are taking proactive preventive measures by voluntarily wearing face masks while at work.
Even yung mga travelers napapansin po namin sa airports, kahit nanggaling po sila sa mga countries na wala pa naman pong reports of the coronavirus, they have been protecting themselves with masks para masigurado po yung kanilang safety. Sa amin naman po, for our frontline personnel, we advise them po to wear protective masks na rin. Wala naman pong mawawala kung sila po ay magsusuot ng mga masks para po maprotektahan ng kanilang mga sarili.
Marami kasing Chinese na nag-a-apply. Siyempre, takot din tayo. Baka mamaya mahawa tayo.
Even BI employees who perform their jobs inside their offices also wear protective masks.
Siyempre, natatakot din kami. Kasi siyempre, baka mahawa rin kami ng virus. So that's why we have this mask.
Meanwhile, some Chinese nationals who are currently in the Philippines say they are worried about their families and relatives in China. One of them is Go Chin-hui, who has been staying in Makati City for 4 years. He says he wishes to bring his relatives to the Philippines.
Have medicine to solve the problem, and we will go China, of course, because I want to see my family if they are okay. Other province, but just next to the Wuhan.
Dante Amento, UNTV News and Rescue, City of Manila.
The National Capital Region Police Office leadership gives a 30-day ultimatum to chiefs of police in Metro Manila to eradicate illegal gambling in their areas of concern. A Metro Chief Police that will fail to accomplish the directive will face sanctions. Leia Ilagan reports why.
Any chief of police in the National Capital Region that will fail to eradicate illegal gambling in his area of responsibility within 30 days shall be relieved. This is the directive given by NCRPO Director, Police Major General Debold Sinas after PNP Chief, Police General Archie Gamboa said last weekend that illegal gambling is persistent in Quezon City.
Yung walang huli na mga estasyon sa Quezon City at alam namin na meron doon at may nag-report ay pagbigyan ng panahon, no, mga 15 to 30 days pagkatapos ay i-relieve na po sila.
NCRPO personnel will have to verify the veracity of reported gambling to know if the chiefs of police are doing their job after the 30-day ultimatum lapses. The NCRPO will also implement stiffer measures, not just confiscate machines used in gambling, such as the video carrera machines, but also arrest the owner of establishments.
Kaya nga pinag-aralan namin kung paano pa-enhance yung operation kaya yung video carrera. So, pabalik-balik na yun. Ilang beses na dineclare na wala ng video carrera. Pagkatapos ng isang linggo, isang 15 days, nandiyan na naman.
Sinas explains they need to arrest establishments owners to prevent them from getting 20% of the profits in their video carrera operation. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
The Senate is taking on the proposal that seeks to suspend the operation of the Philippine Offshore Gaming Operators or POGO in the country. The move is due to an increase in Chinese prostitution dens involving POGO employees. In the Senate Committee on Women, Children, Family Relations and Gender Equality hearing today, Senator Risa Hontiveros presented several screenshots of an alleged group chat in a messaging app, WeChat, where the transaction is taking place. Hontiveros said girls with a corresponding package price for their services are being offered to clients. Ontiveros said that they will also check how far the extent of the Chinese prostitution industry in the country has gone. The Makati City Police called on business establishment owners to coordinate with authorities for the arrest of operators of Chinese prostitution dens in the city. Malacanang meanwhile said that they will launch an investigation on the reported Chinese prostitution that has affected the POGO industry in the country. Citizens' arrest may be activated when a foreign national in the Philippines violated Philippine laws. This according to the Philippine National Police. Leia Ilagan explains why.
Respect and abide the law of the Philippines to avoid facing charges. This is the warning of the Philippine National Police to foreigners in the country who will commit crimes and violate ordinances. PNP spokesperson Police Brigadier General Bernard Banac says that ordinary citizens may arrest any violators through citizens' arrest.
Ito namang citizens' arrest is enshrined in our laws at maging sino man ang may makita ng mga paglabag sa mga batas natin, maging locals or foreigners, ay maaaring gawin ng ating mga mamamayan.
Banac adds concerned citizens need to immediately turn over a suspect to authorities so that an investigation can be launched. The PNP spokesperson further says concerned citizens must ensure their safety. If a suspect is armed, it would be safe to call authorities instead.
Hindi nakabilang yon dahil isinasaalang-alang natin ang safety and security ng publiko. So ito ay mas makabuti na isagawa lamang ng ating otoridad.
The PNP made a reaction after a foreign national was caught defecating at Baluarte de Dilao in Intramuros, Manila. 4 other foreigners were caught urinating in Ayala Avenue, Makati City last Sunday. Leia Ilagan, UNTV, News and Rescue, Camp Crame.
Welcome back to Wine News. President Rodrigo Duterte assures all measures are in place to prevent the entry of the 2019 Novell Coronavirus. Meanwhile, the chief executive wants to slowly tone down the Philippines' bilateral relations with the United States of America. From Quezon City, Rosalie Cos is on the line to tell us why. Ross, go ahead.
Yes, good evening, Alex. President Rodrigo Duterte says the Philippines is preparing for the worst in relation to the 2019 Novell Coronavirus or nCoV. The chief executive says authorities are already doing preventive measures to prevent the spread of the nCoV. However, the president is not inclined as of the moment to ban flights to and from China. But if there is already virus contamination in the Philippines, then the government has to do measures. The chief executive made a statement on the sidelines of the 69th founding anniversary of the Department of Social Welfare and Development in Constitution Hills, Quezon City.
We are preparing in all ports of entry. We have deployed almost all yung regional national sa port of entries. Yung magpasok namin.
In addition to this, the president says the government is willing to fly Filipinos in Wuhan City back to the Philippines, but all precautions must be in place to ensure there is no contamination of the virus. Meanwhile, President Duterte says he wants to tone down the relations of the Philippines with the United States of America. This is the reason why he will not attend the U.S.-ASEAN Summit in March to be held in Los Angeles. All his cabinet members are not allowed to visit the U.S. This following the U.S. visa cancellation of his former PNP chief and now Senator Ronald Bato de la Rosa.
Interaction with the U.S.?
I am slowly toning it down. And I said, as a corollary of De La Rosa's being cancelled visa, para sa akin lahat.
And that's the latest here in Quezon City. Back to you, Alex.
Thank you, Rosalie Cos, reporting live from Quezon City. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology warns the public that threats of a possible eruption of the Taal volcano remains. This after some residents climbed up the volcano's crater. June Soriao tells us why, exclusive.
The Taal volcano once again emitted steam this morning. On a video sent by Dan Albert Hernandez to UNTV News and Rescue, steam is visible from the volcano's main crater, which seemed to be dangerous for the residents of the volcano island.
Uy, naputok siya. Ayan po. Ay, lulusong na po kami. Medyo naputok na po yung loob. Narinig po namin dito. Kitang-kita po yung sa video. Sumisingaw yung sa magma niya. Sa magma niya nanggagaling. Sumasabog po siya. Kaso mahina na po.
The video also shows smoke coming out from fissures on both sides of the Angkastila Trail. This is where tourists pass through going to the island. The Philippine Institute of Volcanology and Seismology of PHIVOLC says those are called explosion pits. Explosion pits are also volcano craters, which had been buried by soil, trees, and other plants, which means those are not new craters. PHIVOLC's warning to the public is that the danger of a major eruption remains. Residents must not go to the island, especially to the volcano's crater.
Ang alert level 3 po, ito po ay isang hakbang lamang sa alert level 4. Kaya po alert level 3 pa rin tayo, nandiyan pa rin po, nakaamba pa rin po ang posibilidad na maaaring magkaroon ng pagputok ng bulkan.
PHIVOLC admits videos that show the present situation of the volcano island and the Taal volcano itself can help a lot. But safety is of utmost priority.
Hindi po namin nanaisin na mayroon pong malagay sa panganib na ating pong mga kababayan para lamang po makakuha po tayo ng footage ng volcano dahil mayroon naman din po tayong ginagamit ng mga drones para po makuna ng larawan ng bulkan. So mas gusto po namin na syempre safe sila. Ito po ay ang ating layunin na para sila ay maging safe.
June Soriao, UNTV, News and Rescue, Quezon City.
Some senators push for the creation of a new department that will focus on disaster resilience and emergency management. But some officials and groups ask, is a new department really necessary? Harleen Delgado will tell us why.
The Senate deliberated today several bills seeking to create a department that will focus on disaster resilience and emergency management. One of the proponents is Senator Francis Tolentino, who filed a bill that seeks to amend Republic Act 10121 or the Philippine Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Act of 2010. Senator Bongo also supports the call to create a new department for faster release of calamity funds for response and rehabilitation. But for Senator Amy Marcos, an authority is enough instead of a whole new department. The Department of the Interior and Local Government supports this, citing possible overlap of functions.
Then there will be some overlapping also of functions and probably some conflict in existing laws. So the job of the lawmakers is to harmonize everything.
The National Disaster Risk Reduction and Management Council, or NDRRMC, meanwhile, supports the move to strengthen the agency.
Hindi tayo makapag-create ng isang department, a super department na nandun lahat yung function. So we will just strengthen yung orchestrator, and that is OCD to yung head niya is secretary level.
Some groups in the private sector also agree that there is no need for a new department but to just amend the law. For the Philippine Institute on Volcanology and Seismology, there should be a new department with experts on risk management.
We need people that are really may competence na magkaroon ng desisyon, hindi lang mag-coordinate.
The Department of Science and Technology, for its part, believes the NDRRMC should be given a chance to fully perform its duties.
We have to give a chance to the NDRRMC because, it has been there for just a couple of years, and we can see that in recent occurrences of disasters, it is the President himself who said that he is satisfied with the way the coordination and the response was done.
Harleen Delgado, UNTV News and Rescue, Senate of the Philippines.
And for the news abroad, here's Stephanie C. reporting live from Hong Kong. Steph, good evening.
News abroad, American scientists are working to develop coronavirus diagnostic tests in a bid to stop the 2019 nCoV spread by identifying infected individuals as quickly as possible. Marie Peñaranda has this report.
As the death toll from coronavirus mounts, the public health response is ramping up. In Seattle, at the University of Washington School of Medicine, researchers at the university's virology division are busy developing a diagnostic test they hope will be able to detect the virus in possible carriers in the event that virus continues to spread.
Right now, all diagnostic testing is being sent to the state public health labs and being coordinated through local public health authorities, and also being sent to the CDC. So right now, we don't perform clinical testing because that's supposed to be done by the public health authorities. But in the case that there is more transmission, we have to be ready for that because it does take a little bit of time to get these things up and running.
The test, which scientists are hoping will be ready in a matter of weeks, is based on the latest genomic information about the emerging virus.
We can ramp this up relatively quickly, as I said, in sort of weeks to about a month. And so we're ready, for these things all the time. We had to do this with Zika. We had to do this for enterovirus D68. We've had to do this with 2009 H1N1.
As the virus spreads, the White House on Tuesday opted not to suspend flights from China to the United States as a way to deal with the coronavirus outbreak.
Right now, there is no spread of this virus in our communities here at home. This is why our current assessment is that the immediate health risk of this new virus to the general public is low in our nation. The coming days and weeks are likely to bring more confirmed cases here and around the world, including the possibility of some person-to-person spread.
The coronavirus that originated in the city of Wuhan has killed 132 people in China and spread across the world, rattling financial markets. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention on Tuesday said that the Trump administration was expanding screening for the virus at 20 U.S. airports. Marie Peñaranda, UNTV News and Rescue, USA.
A powerful 7.7 magnitude earthquake has struck in the Caribbean, prompting brief tsunami warnings and office evacuations as far away as Florida. The U.S. Geological Survey said on Tuesday the quake hit between Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, and Cuba at a depth of 10 kilometers. Buildings shook and tremors were felt across the Caribbean, but there were no immediate reports of casualties. Some offices were temporarily evacuated in Miami and parts of Jamaica. Warnings by the Pacific Tsunami Warning Center were later withdrawn. The United Kingdom has decided to let Huawei continue to be used in its 5G networks, but with restrictions, despite pressure from the U.S. to block the firm. Jovic Burmas reports why.
Britain's Foreign Secretary Dominic Raab said intelligence sharing would not be jeopardized by Tuesday's decision to allow China's Huawei a role in building the country's 5G telecoms network.
GCHQ have categorically confirmed that how we construct our 5G and full fibre public telecoms network has nothing to do with how we share classified data.
British Prime Minister Boris Johnson granted Huawei a limited role in Britain's 5G mobile network, frustrating a global attempt by the United States to exclude the Chinese telecoms giant from the West's next-generation communications. Defying Britain's closest ally in favor of China on the eve of Brexit, Johnson ruled that high-risk vendors such as Huawei would be allowed into the non-sensitive parts of the 5G network. U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo had previously suggested that use of Huawei's equipment posed a spying risk. Yet such high-risk companies' involvement will be capped at 35%. They will be excluded from the sensitive core, where data is processed, and they will be banned from all critical networks and locations such as nuclear sites and military bases.
We are removing the barriers to faster network deployment and have committed £5 billion of new public funding to ensure no area is left behind.
Such an explicit rejection of U.S. concerns that Huawei could be used to steal Western secrets dismayed President Donald Trump's administration, but was welcomed by the Chinese company, founded in 1987 by a former People's Liberation Army engineer. 5G, which will offer much faster data speeds and become the foundation stone of many industries and networks, is seen as one of the biggest innovations since the birth of the Internet itself a generation ago. Jovic Burmas, UNTV News and Rescue, London, United Kingdom.
And those are the news from the other parts of the globe. Back to you, Alex.
Thank you, Stephanie C. reporting live from Hong Kong. Wish 107.5, also known as the FM radio station with the heart, receives 3 recognition from different award-giving bodies this month. Mirasola Bugadil reports.
Lasallian community are all wishers.
De La Salle University's prestigious award-giving body, the DLSU Gawad La Sallianeta, yet again gave recognition to the most outstanding media communicators in the Philippines last Monday. During the ceremony held at the De La Salle Araneta University, Wish 107.5 was hailed as the most outstanding radio station. According to the chairperson of Gawad La Sallianeta, Wish 107.5 is a leading innovator that continuously promotes regional Filipino music and gives an unparalleled platform for OPM artists to promote their music.
So we had a criteria for the nominations, and the nominations team really did their best to come up with a very valid criteria so that we can choose the best nominees. But among all the nominees, Wish FM really emerged as the highest in the online voting process. For the 3rd consecutive year, napakalaki po ng lamang talaga ng Wish FM.
Aside from this, on January 17, Wish FM was given the Hall of Fame Award by the National Customers' Choice Awards. This is because the FM station has been hailed as the most innovative FM broadcasting and media production for 3 consecutive years.
You are achieving different heights already. Your segments and your programs, we've been following it attentively, and it's very exciting. And you're one of the most balanced, very, very good online social media channel now in this country and worldwide.
Wish 107.5 was also conferred with the Radio Station of the Year Award at the first ever Village People or VP Choice Awards held last January 23rd. VP is the first free travel, lifestyle, entertainment, technology, and news multimedia magazine in the Philippines. This year, expect more and bigger innovations from your favorite FM radio station with a heart. Wish 107.5.
And to that we always say, sa Diyos po ang lahat ng karangalan at kapurihan.
Mirasol Abugadil, UNTV, News and Rescue.
A Manila City Hall employee who has been working there for more than 3 decades got a surprise one Monday morning. He no longer needs to go home along the railroad. Bernard Dadis tells us why.
A decent and comfortable house is one of the dreams of every head of a family. Just like Melchor Duca, who has been working for 33 years in the General Services Unit of the Manila City Hall. Duca started as a janitor. Then he learned basic carpentry skills like painting, woodwork, and other related abilities from his co-workers. But the day came when Duca's family needed to be relocated by the government to Cavite, when their house was affected by the clearing operation implemented along the Philippine National Railways. With meager earnings, he could no longer afford to travel to his new home. So he endures missing his family and just left somewhere inside the Manila City Hall. He went home to his wife and 4 children only during weekend. By doing this, he could save more than 200 pesos a day or 1,000 pesos a week.
Siyempre, maliit lang naman talaga sweldo. Kapos na ako sa pamasahe. May 200 ako rito, magbabakin po. Kakain ko na lang to rito. Dito na lang ako kapalipas ang gabi. Para makatipid. Oo, saka yun pa yung inaano ko, yung 4 hours ang biyahe. Yung, di ba, siguro kabisado niya naman yung Aguinaldo, di ba? Doon dumadaan, yun lang. Magbaga, ang buhay mo nasa bus.
But on January 20, a surprise welcomed Melchor's morning during a flag-raising ceremony of Manila City Hall employees at the Kartilya ng Katipunan led by Mayor Isko Moreno Dumagoso. The city chief executive called Melchor's name and told him to go up the stage.
Asan ba si Melchor Duca? Andyan ba? Alka Melchor. Ito si Melchor. Wala pa siyang idea. Patagal ka na. Asan yung cellphone, Wing? Oo, meron ka ng cellphone. Ha?
And what Melchor did not expect came next. He was gifted a new house.
Yeah, he's been working with us for 33 years. Nangungupahan ka pa rin. Dito ka natutulog sa City Hall. Ganda ng bahay mo, ha? Halika. O, kunin mo yung isang unit doon sa Limansa.
Until now, Melchor can't believe what he received from the city mayor.
Ang totoo nun, nung time nang inaward sa akin ni Mayor yun, nangangatog ang tuhod ko. Oh. Kasi, wala akong knowledge na hindi ko alam dun sa mga matataas sa akin na mag-prepare ka, may gantimpala ka kay Yorme. Wala. Asing, matin ako ng plug, pinipilit nilang ako, doon ka sa pumila ka ron, pumila. Kaya nung tinawag ako, hindi ko expected yun.
Melchor believes that there's no great or small job. What matters is diligence and determination to be able to succeed in life.
Yun nga yun, yung determinasyon lang. Huwag pabayaan yung pamilya nila kahit maliit ang sinisweldo mo. At yung bang luho ng mga anak. Kung di mo naman kaya, ba't pipilitin? Ganun yung ano ng mga anak ko. Mga ano ka naman, matsatsaga naman sa pag-aaral. Yun, may nakatapos naman ako kahit isa lang, pero nagpapasalamat ako. Kahit na pinanganak sa release yung mga anak ko. Naging mabuti mga bata yun.
The Manila City Hall employee greatly thanks Mayor Isko for the recognition and gift he received. Bernard Dadis, UNTV News and Rescue, Manila.
And those are the reasons behind the news this January 29, 2020. On behalf of Angelo Castro III, I am Alex Baltazar. Because we need to know, we will always ask why. Good evening.